Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Days of Our Lives spoilers for the next 2 weeks, August 12 to August 23, indicate that Leo Stark will spend some time hanging out with Hattie Adams. However, because he is unaware that she is in town, he will mistake her for Marlena Evans. Leo will notice throughout the week of August 12 to 16 that Marlena seems to be in 2 different forms. Leo will be concerned about if Marlena has dissociative identity disorder or any other mental condition as a result of that. After learning that Stefan Demira had cheated on Ava Vitali with Connie Vineski, Gabi Hernandez Demira would lose it. Holly Jonas will take a risky step with Tate Black, Leo Howard, as Gabi pursues Ava and Stefan in an attempt to get vengeance. Holly is keen to make up with Sophia Choi for getting under her skin since they haven't slept together yet at the cabin. Days teasers indicate that Holly will push Tate to get passionate with her, but will he recognize if she's pushing things before she's ready? Tate could decide to put an end to things for the time being if he discovers that Sophia is the cause of Holly's impatience to go under the covers. Fans of DOLL can then anticipate some exasperating times for Chad Demira as he makes an unsuccessful attempt to trigger the mystery woman's recollections of their previous life together. If that tactic fails, Chad will have to depend on the DNA test to confirm that this is, in fact, Abigail Demira. Days teasers indicate that Chad and Jack Deverex will get the findings from Kayla Johnson, but what information will they include? When Chad sees that this woman's sample matches Jack's, he could believe that this is indeed Abigail since the DNA report is designed to establish this woman's identity. Jennifer Horton Deverex will then go back to Salem in the hopes of learning more about the situation. Paul Telfer's character, Xander Cook, will be missing for a while Sarah Horton Cook, Lindsay Godfrey, disappears across town. Brady Black, meanwhile, will be too inebriated to operate a vehicle after a night of drinking with Fiona Cook. Instead, Fiona will take to the wheel. But when she inadvertently runs Sarah over, disaster will ensue. Before Xander finds his unconscious wife, a terrified Fiona will flee the murder scene. As he dials 911 and attempts to get Sarah some assistance, you can guarantee that Xander will be a complete emotional disaster. Brady is going to have trouble recalling what happened the previous evening when the morning comes. Days teasers suggest that Fiona will attempt to cover her tracks and maybe persuade Brady that he was really driving following the hit-and-run incident. Kristen Demira is going to invite Rachel Black over to the townhouse, where she will probably limit Brady's absence from a scheduled playdate. In another scene, Melinda Trask will give Ava a shocking revelation about Connie Ganiski's possible deception. Given what we know about Connie, Ava may investigate her more over the week of August 19 to 23, but doing so might endanger her life. Speaking of lives at peril, Xander could have nightmares about the hospital. After being ran over, Sarah will undoubtedly be in poor condition. Therefore, Xander may need a miracle. It's simple to see Xander sobbing to Fiona and really becoming closer to her throughout the whole situation. Xander won't understand that his mother caused Sarah's injuries, but he will undoubtedly want the guilty party to pay. Xander could begin planning his retaliation if he begins to assume Brady is responsible for the hit and run. Now that he's back with Chad, he could push Abigail to move into the Horton home and make an effort to get back into her Salem life. That will be easier said than done, particularly because Abigail is unable to recall becoming married to Chad or bearing him children. Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that many characters will face challenges over the next 2 weeks, so when the plot lines intensify, we'll make Days of Our Lives spoilers. Jada Hunter informed Rafe Hernandez about Robert Bobby Stain, alias Everett Lynch, who claimed to be able to assist solve a murder. Rafe was concerned about Jada's ex's mental instability and believed Bobby was just playing her. However, Jada refused to back down and pushed on gathering more information on her own. Connie Valinsky approached Melinda Trask in the town center and expressed her regret for previously holding Melinda Trask responsible for Lee Shin's death when it wasn't her fault. On Friday's episode of Days, E.J. Demira confronted Stephen Demira at the Demira home, demanding an explanation about Gabi Hernandez Demira's whereabouts. Gabi wasn't returned from her vacation to Arizona yet, which was frustrating for EJ since he needed her for his press conference. Gabi decided to go to the press conference because Stefan wanted to give his brother a break when she got back and saw him arguing with EJ. Gabi coerced Stefan into talking about Jude Demira, alias Jude Brady, his paternity and his blackmail material after EJ departed Friday's DOL program. Stefan pleaded with Gabi not to upset Eric once again, even though Gabi maintained they had to tell him the truth about his kid. Gabi seemed to accept Stefan's assessment and gave him a hug, although she had a thoughtful expression over his shoulder. Back in the town square, EJ was prepared to give up ownership of his shares in order to persuade Kristen Demira to appoint Melinda as Demira Enterprises' legal representative. Kristen accepted the offer, but she couldn't help but wonder why EJ was taking this whole thing on. Melinda would only tell Kristen that EJ was acting in his best interests, even though she had signed the papers. Eric Brady informed Nicole Demira at The Spectator on Friday's episode of Days that he was leaving today to take a photography position at a prominent magazine in Paris. Eric reiterated his reasons for wanting a fresh start and why he believed it would be preferable if he'd avoided seeing Jude before leaving. Eric was taken aback when Nicole revealed that EJ was aware of her inebriated kiss, and he was unsure of how to handle the matter. In the end, Nicole became sad and refused to say goodbye, so Eric decided that they wouldn't say it out loud. Nicole gave a little wave and sobbed as she watched Eric walk away, his sad grin disappearing into the doorway. After Marlena Evans visited Bobby, Eric also told her about Paris and promised Nicole that he would always have a special place in his heart. After Jada returned to Bobby's baby room, he attempted to negotiate his release by playing games with her. Bobby eventually acknowledged that this was about Lee's case when Jada threatened to leave if he didn't tell the truth about what he knew. When Gabi and Stefan returned to the town center, Rafe walked up to her and told her he was there to support her at the press conference. As Connie approached Gabi to say hello, she expressed her gratitude for her independence. According to Connie, the true murderer had been apprehended, so Lee could now go in peace. Rafe felt the encounter was unusual, but Gabi thought it was good of Connie to come up and say those things. Connie was identified as Lee's actual murderer when on Friday's episode of Days, she revisited the crime scene and flashed back to stabbing him from behind. Nicole appeared in the town square to cover the Spectator's news conference. Nicole grew suspicious when she heard Melinda chatting to EJ, so EJ seemed to be interested in telling her about Melinda's new work. Nicole didn't understand why Kristen would employ Melinda, but EJ made up the story that maybe it was simply to get even with him. As soon as the press conference started, EJ spoke about his part in bringing about justice since Lee's case had allegedly been properly resolved and Gabi was now free. When Gabi's chance came, she expressed her gratitude to Stefan, her family, and her friends. Only very hesitantly did Gabi thank EJ at the very end, pointing out that it was he who had first thrown her in jail on the basis of dubious evidence. But Gabi clarified that EJ let her go because of his intense desire to hold on to Nicole and his love for her. Gabi argued that Nicole's confusion stemmed from the fact that Nicole was still in love with Eric, even if he was the father of her child. Thanks for watching if you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any updates.